Hi, and welcome to this Wednesday's little live stream. And yes, I am on live. So I'd love it if anybody is on to just say hi to me over in the comments. I tried to get it scheduled so that it would show up and people would know when I was going to be on, but I don't think it happened, and I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, technology, we're just going to breathe through that and not worry so much about it. So I hope you're having a great first week of January, first week of 2024. So, this year, for this at least beginning and into January, I just made a decision that I really wanted to just start to share some things that over the years I've found to be helpful when it comes to health. And hey, Angel, thank you for coming on and saying hi. It's good to see you and just share some resources. And so I thought, one of the very first places that I think it's really important to look at when we're looking at maybe making some intentions for the new year, some things that we want to do, looking back and going, I had that goal, intention, resolution, whatever word you want to use. And I get to it, I do a few days, and then it just kind of goes to the wayside. And then I just realize it's just one more time, one more thing that just didn't work. Well, right there, that's a habitual thought pattern. It's just not going to work. It's never worked before. It probably won't work now. And those thought patterns are habitual. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit this week about our habits. And I know when I had said we're going to do habits, probably people started to think, oh, I'm going to talk about the food that you're eating and the exercise and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to get to that as we keep going. But really, the very first thing to look at is the habitual thought patterns that we have around things. And that, you know what? We are typically really not all that aware of exactly what it is we're thinking. And then the beliefs that all those thoughts are kind of showing. What is it that we actually are believing? And when we start to recognize that, it can be truly transformational and kind of amazing. So that's why I had recommended yesterday that you might want to get some paper and a writing utensil. I'll just say a paper and pen. And from when you first get up in the morning, to just start to write down some of the things that you hear yourself saying. Really, just so that you can begin to get a sense of what's going on in there. So, habitual thoughts are really, really important. What we tend to hold in mind, we tend to manifest, don't we? Because energy goes where our attention flows, or our energy flows where our attention goes. I think that's really actually how it's said. So, beginning to really pay attention where is your attention? Is your attention on, it's not going to work, I don't really, what's she going to say, we just have to, no more carbohydrates, I'm sure she's going to tell us none of that, all that stuff, when that might not be it at all, but we don't even really hear anything because of all those thoughts that are going through there. So that was why I suggested beginning to write it down. Journaling can be so transformational. And a lot of times when I say, oh, let's start to journal, whether it's writing down the foods that we're eating, I know you probably thought I was going to start with that, but I'm not, or the thoughts and things that we're thinking, it can make such a big difference. So I had asked today on Facebook for people just to kind of share some books that had been really that they loved. And thanks so much to Angie. Hey, Angie, thank you for putting down the Letting Go guided meditation journal with David Hawkins. I was like, whoa, I was so excited because Dr. David Hawkins is one of my absolute favorite authors. I actually have seen him live several times before he passed away. And he was a brilliant psychiatrist and a gosh, one of our true spiritual leaders that we've had in the last 20 years, just some brilliant truth. And I've read many of his books, and I actually had Letting Go, but I didn't know there was a journal. So thanks, Angie. It is on its way to me now. I can't wait to start to work with that a little bit, because anything that we can do to begin to make those thoughts allow us to just really notice. I guess that's the word I want. Notice what it is we're saying. And then once we write it down and notice, to begin, here's the real challenge, to drill down onto, is that really true? Where did I come up with those thoughts? What's the belief system that that thought is really creating? And that's going to be very different from all of us. And quite frankly, guys, it takes a lot of courage to really take a look at it and take a look at what thoughts and beliefs we have running our subconscious mind all the time. Because you know what? Our subconscious is really what is running our show. So, I'd like to also recommend another great resource for those of you who are open and really want to make 2024 a transformational year. And that is to look up any of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. Dr. Joe Dispenza is another just brilliant scientist. He was a chiropractor, but he does so much neuroscience work, and it's very detailed. But he not only explains it in a way that we can really understand it, but he has incredible meditations and just a whole process for you to use. And I've been doing them for years, and I just credit that work with just so much healing. And I continue to do them. So, another great resource, we've got Dr. David Hawkins and Dr. Joe Dispenza. Look it up. I'll leave that at the end of this if you want, because his name might be a little bit hard to figure out how to spell, but just amazing. One of the books that he's written was called Healing the Self, the Habit, Changing the Habit of Being Yourself, something like that. And I just love the title and the whole premise, because what he's saying is, who we think we are is so habitual. It's those same habitual thoughts. And how can we change our life, our health, our finances, our abundance, our love relationships when we continue to think the same thoughts and act in the same way? If you're going to keep doing and thinking the same way, how do you transform? How do you change? It's got to come from that deep basis. And so those two, I think, are just really, really great places to start. So I hope that's helpful. Now, also, I'm going to have a special guest on tomorrow on our live that I'm going to be interviewing. And she also has just a tremendous resource. She is a tremendous resource, and is going to give us another potential modality that we can use as well to really begin to change the thoughts and the beliefs. So when I talk about thoughts, I just want to give you just a couple of little ones that you might go, ooh, is she like listening to me? No, I just been doing this a long time. And, we all think we're so unique, and we are for absolute sure. But we also have a lot of universal things, I think, that go on because we've been so programmed from the time that we were in the womb all the way out to where we are now. So maybe you've heard yourself say, oh, nothing ever works. I've tried everything and nothing ever works. Really? Have you really tried everything? And did you really try it and give it your all and really do whatever that it is to your fullest extent and given enough time to actually work? That's a good question to ask yourself if that's a thought process that you have a lot going on. Or, yeah, Renee, I know that a lot of people get results with buffafuff, whatever that is. But I have, name your diagnosis, okay? I've got fibromyalgia. I have Hashimoto's. I have polycystic ovarian. I've got all these things and nothing ever works. Well, I'm not saying that you don't have those, so please understand. This isn't about, oh, all those things are in your mind. No, no. You've actually physically manifested these things. But chicken and egg, okay? What might have come first and where are you now? And if you want to heal, where do we start with the healing? Right here, understanding what our belief is, what are our thoughts around it. We can't heal unless we really start to get clear. We talk about the mind body connection, right? It's almost like a cliche. Yeah, yeah, the mind body connection, Renee. But you know what? It's a cliche because there's so much truth to it. Okay. We are creating our own reality. We are quantum physics. That's a truth. It's not a woo woo. And so, all right, I think you guys got my message. Hopefully, I've given you a couple of resources. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you one more. And in the meantime, I want you just to have a fantastic day. Really love on yourself. Let's make 2024 the year of truly self love. We cannot love another person. We cannot give to another person what we are not giving to ourselves. We can transform. This is the year to do it. We've got to do it. And whatever you are doing to heal yourself and raise your own frequency, and one of the ways that we do this is by recognizing those lower level frequencies that are caused by poor thought patterns, not believing in ourselves, and all those things. But as we start to let them go, clear them up out of our energy field, guess what? Our vibration starts to raise. And as our vibration raises, that's how we really help heal our families, help our friends, help our communities, and help the world. And so that's how you can actually contribute to raising the planet and the vibration. So with that, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm not positive about what time tomorrow, but let's figure about the same time. And I'll be sharing my interview with our special guests. So in the meantime, have a fantastic evening and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys. And thanks for showing up.